Hey guys, what's going on? It's Codiak here, and today we are looking at all things Artifact Challenge appearance. There is a really cool data dump, I guess you could say, on MMO Champion of 4.5 million level 110 characters, and they looked at those 4.5 million characters and looked at the ones that were logged out with the Artifact Challenge appearance, the one that you get from going to the Broken Shore and going through the Mage Tower. Now, this is a really cool data dump because looking at the chart, you can form some opinions about the classes that are doing the challenges, how many players are playing the class, how many players are playing each of the specs, and how they're doing in the grand scheme of things. But there are a very important number of disclaimers I want to bring to your attention, and I'm going to read down the list just like they presented it to us. Now, the dataset includes 4.5 million level 110 characters. That is a lot of characters. The team that did the data dump only considered the artifact appearances on characters that had them equipped when they logged out. So you could have the artifact appearance, but you could change to something else, and if you logged out with that different artifact appearance, then you are not registered as having completed the challenge, and we know that's going to happen in a number of cases. Now, the percentage shown is the percentage of characters that logged out with that listed spec that have the challenge appearances equipped. So if you have done your challenge, you have the appearance equipped, and you log out, you are registered as one of the, one of the votes, one of the data points here. They don't have a good way of knowing which characters have the challenge appearance unlocked unless they have it equipped. So that's kind of the disclaimer within the whole thing. So what that means is that players' preference for spec and appearance plays a huge role in the numbers below. They don't represent a true comparison of difficulty between the specs, but it does give us a decent snapshot. For example, in terms of absolute numbers, there are more Havoc Demon Hunters that have their challenge appearance equipped than Assassination Rogues, but there are many more Havoc Demon Hunter characters in total than Assassination Rogues, so the percentage of characters logged out as the spec is lower. So let's just take a look at the chart here, and the things that obviously stand out to us are the high points and the low points. The high points being Assassination Rogues, Windwalker Monks, Balanced Druids. Now, those are three specs that do not have a lot of play, right? At the high end, you're going to have those characters, you're going to have those people in your raid team, and they're probably going to be pretty dang good because there aren't as many of those in the actual raid team. Now, if you look at some of the low points, you see the Vengeance Demon Hunter, the Arcane Mage, the Protection Paladin, the Outlaw Rogue. These are classes that either aren't played that much and are definitely not played at the high level, or they're just not a very populous group. Obviously, you don't have a lot of Protection Paladins running around, a lot of Vengeance Demon Hunters running around, so that percentage is a little bit lower. And you do have to remember, this is a percentage of characters. With the high points, the Assassination Rogue has 6% of players getting that artifact appearance equipped. For the Windwalker, it was 4%. For the Balanced Druid, it was also around 4%. So for the low points, it's all under 1%. Vengeance Demon Hunter, Blood DK, Arcane Mage, Prop Pally, Outlaw Rogue, Sub Rogue, Arms Warrior, Protection Warrior. So you have to remember, you have to think of what I just said before, the absolute numbers. There are more Demon Hunters that have the challenge appearance equipped than Assassination Rogues, but because there are so many more Havoc Demon Hunters, the percentage comes down, and you have to kind of remember that. So all in all, you have to take this all with a grain of salt because, as I said before, there is a difference in if you have it equipped and if you don't have it equipped, but it does give us a really cool snapshot. Everybody that's kind of in the middle, the 2 to 3%, the Unholy, the Havoc Demon Hunters, the Guardian Druids, the Beastmaster Hunters, the Resto Druids, the Frost Mages, the Holy Paladins. I mean, there's a really cool group of people that have 2 or 3%, and that is kind of where you would imagine the top echelon of the group to be. Now, they often say that there's only about 1% of raiders that are raiding at the highest level, and you can look on Warcraft logs and see kind of who is doing Mythic raiding, and you can kind of get a sense for that just by looking at, say, kill videos and statistics on Warcraft logs and WoW progress and all of those things. They all correlate to how much players are doing the top end content, and this was one of the really cool things about the Artifact Challenge appearance because it was considered the top end. It's really geared towards Tomb of Sargeras players, but a lot of us jumped right in right when it came out and got it done. And there is something to be said about the difficulty of them. Now, I've only done the Beast Mastery Hunter one, although I have my Druid, and I'm sure the Balanced Druid one is pretty mildly scaled, I guess you could say. But there are some that were definitely challenging. The tanking specifically was super overtuned. So that could be a huge factor into why there aren't a lot of tank numbers on here, and a lot of tanks just gave up. I know that did get nerfed, but the numbers aren't reflecting a big jump in tanks. Now, that could just be because there aren't that many tanks at the high level that are doing this or care about this, but there are definitely some more challenging ones. A lot of them, don't forget, do share pools with other classes, right? So the Beast Mastery Hunter shares it with Windwalker Monks and Discipline Priests, I believe. So there is some challenge in that. There is some overlap, and certain specs and certain classes are more equipped to deal with the challenges. But the second part of this, guys, which was really, really cool to me, as somebody that raids at, you know, more of the high end of things, I thought it was really cool. They also released the average item level of characters with the challenge appearance versus the average item level of all characters of that spec. And I'm going to put those up on the screen now in a couple different sequences here because it's all too big to fit on the screen. But if you look, the average item level of characters with the challenge appearance is well into the 900s, 910, 910 to 914-ish is the kind of common range. Now, that's where we are in Mythic Nighthold at the moment. We're definitely pushing past that 910 mark, and that's getting really close to the Tomb of Sargeras gear. But if you look, the average item level of a lot of these all of the characters of the class are much, much lower, 860, 870, somewhere in that range. And that's a huge gap. I mean, you're talking a 30 to 40 point gap. In some cases, depending on the spec, 50 points, 50 item level points between, you know, the high end and the average. And that's really, really amazing to think about. Remember, this is a sample size of 4.5 million characters at 110. Now, this doesn't take into account people that may have dinged 110 and haven't logged on for quite some time. So there is some grains of salt that you should take from this, but there is some really cool data here, and I would love to hear what you guys have to say about the entire artifact challenge appearance thing. Again, remember, disclaimer, this is not absolute numbers. This is not absolute information. This is 4.5 million level 110 characters that were sampled based on what they logged out with, if their challenge appearance was equipped or not equipped at time of logout. So a lot of really, really cool information in this kind of data dump, and I would love to hear what you guys think about the entire artifact challenge appearance system. I loved it. The BM one was a little lackluster, but I did really enjoy it. Let me know what item level you were when you did your challenge, just so everybody kind of has a baseline, and share your thoughts about what you thought the experience was like. If you liked it, if you didn't like it, if you thought something was overtuned or undertuned, and if you've done it on multiple characters, that's awesome. Give us all your insight, because it's really cool to kind of put this data into a real world application. But for now, guys, that's it. That's all I've got for you. My name is Codiak, raid leader for Exiled Power, and we will see you next time.